yesterday was April Fool's, and Elon Musk thought it would be a great prank to tell everyone who refused to pay for Twitter verification that they would lose their blue check. Now, most people said, screw you, I'm not going to pay, but there was one group that he actually followed through with the threat on, and that's the New York Times. The New York Times, one of the most respected journalistic outlets on the planet. You may disagree with a lot of the things they put out there, but you can't deny the fact that a lot of people trust them for news. It's about disinformation today. When anyone can put a New York Times logo on their Twitter account and impersonate them in a post, suddenly it makes it a lot easier for disinformation to flourish. It's a threat to democracy. It's a threat to the way we hold elections. And it just makes it even harder to have any faith in what people say is happening in the world around us. And when we make it harder and harder to verify what's real and what's being fabricated, all of us suffer.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about the great blue check purge that is about to happen on Twitter, okay? Because liberals have enjoyed the luxury of being verified on Twitter when it was ran by communists, but now they have to pay up, right? They got to pay Elon Musk, who is charging $8 a month for verification. Now, these people raged when Elon Musk first bought the company, okay? And then they raged even more when they found out that Elon was going to start and make them pay for their precious blue check, okay, which basically is a status symbol for them, right? It means that they're an important person, which, I mean, really, it only meant that they were liberal, okay, and they had a large following, okay, which seemed to be the main requirement to get a blue check on Twitter. It was either that or you literally had to pay, okay? Yes, behind the scenes, there were people at Twitter selling blue checks for thousands of dollars, okay? Thousands of dollars for a status symbol that the leftists happily paid for. And now a lot of these same people are melting down and crying foul because Elon Musk is saying, hey, you got to pay $8, right? You got to pay $8 to keep your blue check verification. And you got people like LeBron James coming out and saying, no, I'm not going to do that, right? Twitter is not getting my money because, again, it's not like he can't afford it. Guy's basically a billionaire. He wants to woke virtue signal, right? And show that, hey, I'm down with the team because I'm boycotting far-right extremist Elon Musk, right? That's what's happening here, okay? So Elon is basically going to call the bluff of these blue check liberals by rolling back the legacy blue check system. And he's already made his first big move as he has stripped the failing New York Times of their blue check badge and trashed them while doing it. Which, again, is totally an Elon Musk move. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and read about this because this is pretty interesting and funny. Elon Musk has made his first big blue check takedown, and his target is one of the most esteemed newspapers in the world. Twitter previously announced that on Saturday it would begin winding down its legacy verified program by removing badges they deemed, quote, legacy verified check marks. The move is designed to get users to pay an $8 monthly fee to retain the blue check as a part of the company's Twitter Blue service. The New York Times, which has 54.9 million followers on their social media platform, became the most prominent account thus far to lose its blue check. In a pair of tweets, Musk, who owns Twitter, did not explain why the Times was losing its badge, but took a couple of broad swipes at the gray lady. Quote, the real target of New York Times is that their propaganda isn't even interesting, Musk wrote. In a follow-up tweet, he added, quote, also their feed is the Twitter equivalent of diarrhea. It's unreadable. They would have far more followers if they only posted their top articles. Wow. So Elon Musk is basically trashing the New York Times while also stripping their legacy badge, which, again, I find to be hilarious, right? Because, again, these outlets are saying, hey, we're not paying, right? We don't want to pay, okay? Now, if Twitter was owned by communists, they would happily pay, like they were paying. Again, thousands of dollars for the blue check badge, right? But now that Elon Musk owns the company, now all of a sudden, oh, we don't want to pay. Which is fine. You don't have to pay, okay? You don't have to pay, but I'm just saying, I just find it fascinating how all of these outlets have decided that, hey, we're not going to pay, even though, you know, Twitter is so important to them, right? Their status is so important to them, but again, because they don't want to support Elon Musk, they don't want to pay. The Times announced earlier this week it was not going to pay the fee to retain its badge, nor would it reimburse any of its staffers. Nearly all other major U.S. journalistic outlets have made the same decision. Yeah, so they're all colluding, right? They're colluding to not support Elon Musk, right? And Elon Musk said, okay, well, you F around, you find out we're stripping the blue check badge. Which, I mean, you know, hey, the New York Times is... the New York Times is a failing joke anyways. It's nothing but propaganda. So, I mean, hey, I don't think they really deserved it in the first place. And one of the main reasons why I love this, why I love what Elon Musk is doing, is because it's kind of putting these news outlets in their place, right? In the sense that a lot of these news outlets, they don't want to pay for the check mark because, well, it doesn't represent authority anymore, right? We're not special snowflakes anymore with the check mark because anybody can pay for it. It levels the playing field. Therefore, we don't want to pay for it anymore. I mean, that's exactly what they're saying. Like, for example, let's read here. We aren't planning to pay the monthly fee for checkmark status for our institutional Twitter accounts, a spokesperson for the New York Times said Thursday. We also will not reimburse reporters for Twitter Blue for personal accounts, except in rare instances where this status would be essential for reporting purposes. The Los Angeles Times told staffers that Twitter is not as reliable as it once was and that it, quote, will not be paying to verify organization on Twitter. Quote, some of you may be wondering whether or not the LA Times will pay for Twitter Blue subscriptions, and the answer right now is no for several reasons. First of all, verification no longer establishes authority or credibility. Instead, it will only mean that someone has paid for a Twitter Blue subscription, said Sarah Yassin, managing director of the Los Angeles Times. The Washington Post said, quote, it will not pay for a Twitter Blue service as an institution or on behalf of our journalists because it is evident that verified check marks no longer represent authority or expertise. Well, they didn't represent that before, right? See, again, that's how elitist these people are, right? That's the type of game that they was playing with Twitter, is that, well, under the old liberal Twitter, communist Twitter, we got little special check marks because we had authority, right? It meant that we were special, okay? We were an outlet that people should listen to, right? But Elon Musk, again, has got rid of that because ultimately these people aren't really all that credible, right? They're no more credible than, well, online independent journalists, right? So he's leveled the playing field and said, look, anybody can have a blue check mark as long as you pay for it. And again, these people now are like, okay, well, we don't want the blue check anymore. And what I find to be interesting about this is that you have Instagram and Facebook who are now basically doing the same thing that Twitter's doing, right? They're offering a blue check in exchange for money. Now, by definition, this move also takes away the special snowflake status of a lot of these organizations and a lot of these liberals who are so upset with Elon Musk. But you don't hear them backlashing against Instagram and Facebook. Well, why is that? Well, it's simple. It's because those outlets, right, those social media platforms are owned by Mark Zuckerberg, who's a raging liberal, right? So they're owned by liberals, okay? They're run by liberals, so they're totally fine with it, right? When liberals try to hustle you for a check mark, they're totally fine with paying, okay? But when Elon Musk takes over the platform, he say, look, $8, you know, these people want to act like it's the end of the world. Which, again, hey, you don't have to pay, right? But, again, I'm just saying that you didn't hear these same complaints here when Facebook basically decided to do the same thing, when Mark Zuckerberg decided to do the same thing. Again, I just find it interesting. But, again, you know, Elon Musk is a funny guy, right? He really has, you know, done a great job of kind of exposing the mainstream liberal media. I know a lot of people don't necessarily like what he's done with Twitter. They don't feel like Twitter is free speech enough. But I definitely feel like Twitter is better than it was before, even if it's just marginal. But I think that at the very least, if you just consider the Twitter files and all the stuff that we've learned from what Elon Musk has released to the public from, you know, him exposing the platform, I think that it is a net positive. Now, in regards to where the platform is going to go in the future, not entirely sure. But again, it didn't collapse, right? It's still up. The leftist predictions was all wrong. And again, we'll see what happens now as Elon Musk is stripping these leftists of their blue check verification. We'll see if that finally causes the mass exodus that they claim was going to happen to Twitter, right? If it's going to cause Twitter to die because these blue check leftists have lost their oppressors' verification mark. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.